Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of my Nations United series featuring Finland and the Espoo Eagles. And today, we are in the Stanley Cup Final, taking on the Anaheim Ducks. It does not seem like we are possibly about to play in our first Stanley Cup Final, yet here we are. And when you think about it, I mean, it's May 15th of 2026. This series has been going on for a while now at this point. I think it just seems like we've taken, we obviously have. We've taken that big step forward through trading and through free agency. And in a series like this, where we started off with humble beginnings to the point where it almost felt like a draft of glory, for us to be here as soon as we are, at least as relatively soon as we are, we might have been able to be here had I made some different moves at a different time, for better or worse. But for us to be here now, it just doesn't feel real. But we are just 4 wins away now from a Stanley Cup. And if we can make it past Anaheim, we will achieve our goal of not just winning our goal of winning a Stanley Cup. Check that box, but from there, whether or not we'll be able to turn this team into a dynasty is the question. The Anaheim Ducks might have something to say about that. Maybe we fall short, and it raises a couple of questions heading in to the offseason, despite us having a very young core. And it is that core, of course, that's led us to success. Kaapo Kakko, 9 points in 15 games. Simon Tyval as well. Mikko Rantanen, the big money player, living up to the hype thus far. The second line, of course, has been strong. The third line has been phenomenal. Absolutely ridiculous. And again, Tommy Ludman is 19 years old. 14 points in 15 playoff games. This kid is something special. And once we transition him from kind of a third line, be a little bit more defensive role, to just letting him go all out offense, imagine what he is going to be capable of. And then the fourth line that we changed a few games into the playoffs, 5 games, and actually I think it was in the second round that we changed it up, but Arturi Lekin with Wirtanen and Lemiko, that fourth line has been absolutely ridiculous. Again, as far as what we do in terms of what rules we continue to implement, or whether we just say, okay, screw it, no more rules, just go for it. If you want to trade Teravainen, feel free, whatever. Regardless, we are in such a good spot moving forward, and hopefully this does not prove to be a setback, and perhaps we would not be here, if not more than likely we would not be here, had we not picked up Hikala and Nudivara at the trade deadline. Reacquiring Nudivara, which is not something I expected to do, and then acquiring Hikala, which I didn't think we'd be able to afford to do. You look at those moves, and then obviously the big move, acquiring the best goaltender in the league right now by overall, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, has lived up to the hype. He has been worth it by every stretch of the imagination, but whether or not this team can get it done, we will find out. Now, the Ducks are here for a reason. The question is, how do we compare? We technically would have gotten a quick little glance at this team every time we've started an episode to look at our opponents. Now we actually get to look at this roster in full, and needless to say, it is extremely well-rounded. You have Rickard Rakell still on the top line, 8 goals in 16 games, centered by the one real superstar on this team, Kirby Dach, who has 14 points in 16 games. He went 4th overall in 2019, and Daniel Sprong rounds out that top line, 8 goals and 5 assists. That top line is killer. I mean, that is a great top line, and they're getting the job done. Second line, Pavel Dorofeyev, who was a second-round pick in the same draft that Doc went in, has 6 points thus far. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 9 points, the 33-year-old. And Lucas Raymond, not exactly lighting the world on fire, but he was a first-round pick the very next year, 13th overall. We go to the third line, Max Comtois, still in Anaheim, 4 points through 16 games. You get to Sam Steele, 3 goals, 8 assists, and Max Jones. So that third line, the future of the Ducks IRL right now, and at the very least still on the team. I think Ducks fans would prefer to see them in a higher role, but, at the very least still on the team. And then we get to the fourth line. Benoit Olivier Giroux with 4 points. Antoine Morand, 10 points as a fourth liner. He's a second-line center playing on the fourth line, and Ryan Hartman is there as well. That center depth is ungodly. Like, that is just not good news for us whatsoever. Not that our center depth is overly questionable, but that is simply outrageous. The top 9 in general, so I mean even the fourth line, that is a very well-rounded team, no doubt about it. And defensively, it doesn't get any easier for us. Hampus Lindholm is still there leading the way, or next to Brandon Montour, which I don't remember if we started this series before Montour was traded to Buffalo, or if he just ended up back there. Second pairing is Jacob Larson with Cam Fowler. Ole Mata alongside Ruslan Ponikarovsky. The 25-year-old was a 7th-round pick. That 2019 draft working out very well for the Ducks. That defense, I mean, the top 4 is maybe not what you would expect to see. Maybe before Montour was traded to Buffalo, that's what you would have expected to see from the Ducks at this point in time. The goaltender, if it's still the same goaltender that you'd expect it to be, it could be bad news for us. And that is exactly who it is. 32-year-old John Gibson. Oh, God. We have thrown around the term Clash of the Titans before in this postseason run. Luukkonen v. Gibson. Only one can win. Somehow I don't think this battle will disappoint. Or maybe, just maybe, someone folds and breaks and people complain about it on Twitter. Who the hell knows? Is it spoilers at this point to mention something in a Game of Thrones episode that happened 3 weeks ago? I was making a Night King analogy. Let's go with that. John Gibson is going to be an outright force to deal with. Healthy scratches of Isaac Lundstrom, Carter Ott, 81 overall, 20-year-old first-round pick as well, and Josh Manson still there. So they have some money. Oh, yeah, they have some money on the bench that they probably shouldn't have there and could have made their team a little bit better. But, hey, their choice. And they've done well enough to get to this point anyway. So who am I to judge? With that, it is time to get this series underway. Game 1 in Anaheim. We are in the Stanley Cup Final for the very first time. Will our magical run end here, or is this going to go down as a very special season for the Eagles? Let's find out. First period. And that is not a good start by any stretch of the imagination. We have seen at times this postseason, the team that scores first tends to do well and tends to go on to win the game. Well, if that's any indication, this is going to be a very rough Game 1. Ricard Raquel and Max Comtois both score. They outshot us 12-5. We are down 2-0 at the end of the first period. Can we battle back in the second? No, we cannot. Now, in terms of shots, we absolutely did. But in terms of goals, it's still 2-0. We are going to need a Herculean effort here in this third period, or the Ducks are going to take Game 1. Can we find a way to get past John Gibson? Defensively, they've done very well, limiting our high-powered offense to just 23 shots halfway through the third period, and we need a quick goal here or it's all over. I mean, this team has proven that they can score in bunches, but from the looks of it, as Lucas Raymond seals the deal, the Ducks are going to take Game 1. John Gibson, a 30-save shutout. And our high-powered offense, which has looked so good throughout the postseason, is shut down, and if not outright embarrassed in Game 1. That is the worst-case scenario right there. A 3-0 loss in Game 1. I don't think I'm going to make any lineup changes. I think what we have is what we're going to go with. Famous last words, especially if we're in desperation mode. But we need a better effort here. Easy enough. Win Game 2. We're right back in the series. Lose this game, and the concern and the doubts start to make their presence known just a little bit more. First period is scoreless. John Gibson yet to allow a goal through 4 periods of play. And yes, I am now incredibly nervous. We outshot them, so that's a good sign. But we need a goal. This is no good. Second period, and ask and you shall receive. We get on the board in the second period. Teuvo Teravainen, 3 minutes and 11 seconds later. Tommy Ludman. It's a 2-0 lead for the Eagles. Both goals basically from the same exact spot. The indicator's almost right on top of one another. 23 shots to 18. 2-0 on the board. Luukkonen, all eyes on you. Ball's in your court. Time to shut down the Ducks like Gibson shut us down in Game 1. No comeback, no drama. Just get the job done. This is what we brought you here for. We ripped you away from a Buffalo franchise that probably never should have lost you to get the job done in a moment like this. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen shuts the door, and for good measure, another empty netter. Kasper Bjorkqvist makes it 3. Louis makes it 4. This series is tied up at 1 game apiece. Anything you can do, I can do better. The Ducks take Game 1 by the score of 3-0. The Eagles take Game 2 by the score of 4-0. Luukkonen with a 31-save effort. Ludman leads the way yet again with a 3-point night. And needless to say, we are in just a tad bit more of an optimistic mood than I thought we would be. 3-0 loss in Game 1, 4-0 win in Game 2, and now we head home. It's a long flight, a long series of flights perhaps, but we head home for Games 3 and 4. Bottom line is, we need more goal scoring from that top line. Whether it's Kakko or Rantanen, we need them to be putting up goals. I mean, now here's the thing. You could argue, well, Kakko's listed as a playmaker rather than a sniper. That is a fair point. I mean, obviously, Rantanen's going to be a sniper with that accuracy. There's no doubt about it, although he could be one hell of a playmaker. Not as if playmakers can't put up goals, but I might change Kaapo Kakko to a sniper just to try and get him to shoot the puck a little bit more. In theory, there's no guarantees that that's how it works. It's all in theory and using common sense, but we don't know for sure if it works that way. It would be nice to think that it works as you would think. A sniper tends to shoot the puck a little bit more, but, you know, it's franchise mode, man. You never quite know. That's a nice touch. It shows the Stanley Cup patch because we're in the final, even though I'm on just the edit player screen. Not a bad touch. Ignore the fact that it said Kaapo Kakko was drafted by Tampa. That's fake news. That never happened, I swear. See, now it feels like the series was a while ago, right? Because Kaapo Kakko's 25 years old, and we almost forgot that he was drafted by Tampa, or at least I tried to forget. So we'll make that change to Kakko just to try and get him to shoot the puck a little bit more. That top line needs to take that step up. In terms of the second line, I mean, it's a similar situation. I mean, Teravainen is no doubt as a playmaker, good way to go. Brad Lambert as a playmaker, I mean, great shot power, but the accuracy leaves a bit to be desired, so that's fine. Patrick Laine is the guy that you would expect to be able to carry that line, and right now he only has 3 goals in 17 games. That is not good enough. You start a Finnish series and you think to yourself, we're going to get Patrick Laine at some point, you would hope, and he's the guy who's just going to be able to bury goals left and right. I mean, at least in the playoffs, not so. Regular season, I mean, 37 goals this past year, but we need to see more from him. There's no doubt about it. He has 4 goals in his last 23 playoff games, 8 goals in his last 46 playoff games. He needs to do better. We need more of that, which I imagine was a successful playoff run for the Winnipeg Jets. We need more of that. He needs to prove that he can get it done in the playoffs. I mean, you look at what Mikko Rantanen's been capable of, 30 goals in the postseason. I mean, aside from that goose egg right there, which stands out like a sore thumb, you know, at least this year he's done a little bit better. But those two, I mean, they are arguably the big two of the team. It's tough to say for sure, but when you look at Tommy Ludman, he has 8 goddamn goals in 17 games. Rantanen and Laine have combined for 10. I mean, I'm so tempted to bump up Ludman, but obviously we're not going to break up this ungodly third line. I'm so happy with how well they've done. And the fourth line as well. I mean, they're not putting up points, but the plus-minus is at least solid. And with the goal of them being the grind line, essentially, I mean, this game does love to have that setup of skill, defense, and grind. It's working out pretty well for us. Again, I don't think there's a perfect formula to this. I would love to see the game go back to what NHL 04 and 05 had, you know, back in the day, where it's like, oh, okay, you get a +5 attribute boost because you have a playmaker, a sniper, and a power forward or whatever. That would be great. Whether or not that's a behind-the-scenes system in this, I don't know. But aside from changing Capo Caco to a sniper, I don't think we have to do too much else there. It shouldn't have a negative effect on our team. Game 3 is here. Let's see what kind of effort we're going to see from both of these teams. A shutout in Game 1, a shutout in Game 2. Call it a hunch, call it a suspicion. I don't think that's going to last. First period, although it might. The Ducks with a 2-0 lead. Max Jones and Kirby Dach. 11 shots to 9. We are down 2-0. Can our offense show up in the second period? No, they cannot. Benoit Olivier Giroux makes it 3. And I'm not exactly liking this trend. Is there a third period comeback on the books? We only have 15 shots in this game. Sam Steele makes it 4. Not the effort from Luukkonen that we need. They have 4 goals on 23 shots. We have a power play chance here, but there's no hope. Like, we're not getting 4 past Gibson in 9 minutes. Dorofeyev makes it 5. A brutal effort from the defense and the goaltending. Absolutely brutal. The first ever Stanley Cup Final game in our home rink, and that's the effort that we give. 26 save shutout for John Gibson. Shockingly, the trend continues. All 3 games have ended with a goose egg on one side of the board. 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Let's see if the numbers keep going up. It's Game 4, and I'm afraid. I don't know if we should make changes. I feel like we should. I don't exactly want to split up that third line. Again, I'm still fine with the fourth line. But Patrick Laine, you're not getting it done. That second line, I just don't feel like they're as efficient as they need to be. I just don't. I'm wondering whether or not I should bump up Ludman into a top 6 role. I guess the only thing I'm really pondering here is whether or not to change up the top 6, but maybe leave that third line the same. Laine with 10 points, but I care more about goals with him, and he's just not there. All right, I think I have an idea. We are going to go, and this is worrisome because there might not be enough puck to go around, but we're going to go Rantanen, Simon Taival, Laine. We're going to go Capo Caco, Teravainen, and Lambert. And we're going to see if that works. We're going to see if that works. I mean, if Rantanen and Laine, 2 sharpshooters between a pretty damn good playmaker, if that's not enough to get it done, I don't know what is. The argument could be play Capo Caco instead, but we should be able to get this done. And I think one of the more lesser-known deals here, I was wondering how bad the defense would be. The plus-minus isn't that bad despite these shutouts. We need to change up the power play as well. And, of course, Capo Caco there on defense. I want 1 defenseman on each pair. We are going to go with Ludman and Bjorkqvist do have good chemistry. So I do want them on the same pairing. But now I'm wondering if Ludman has been scoring because of that power play time. So I am going to bump up. Let's go with Virtanen. We'll drop Capo Caco. Put him on... Oh, that's a tough question, trying to fight off this cough as well. Not very successful. Let's go with... Say Bjorkqvist here, have Caco in a shooting role. And we'll see if that works. Just slight changes to the power play, just to get a different look. And we'll see if that's enough. So the top 6 being changed. I mean, we've been shut out twice in 3 games. I think that's more than, those changes are more than justified. Game 4, the biggest game in this series to date. We need to win, and we need to win badly. First period, no shutout. This time out, however, not a great look. Ludman does get the opening goal. Lucas Raymond ties it, and less than a minute later, Sam Steele gives the Ducks the lead. We had 2 more shots. We're down 2-1 on the board. Second period, it's another goal apiece effort. I shouldn't say another. It's a goal apiece effort. Brad Lambert scores to tie it. Sam Steele with 15 seconds left restores the lead for Anaheim. That goal from Lambert coming from center ice. Big third period. I mean, obviously no shutout looming overhead this time out. Power play chance for the Ducks early on. That is killed off. We need a goal. Rantanen, Laine, somebody has to step up. Capocacco or Sam Steele. Jesus Christ, the hat trick. It's 4-2 with 5 minutes left, and the Anaheim Ducks, unless there's a miracle here, and there's not, have taken a 3-1 series lead, winning both games 3 and 4 on the road. Ludman, it was too little too late. No shutout, but it might as well have been. We are facing a 3-1 deficit in the Stanley Cup Final. And the bottom line is we have not seen a goal from Capocacco. We have not seen a goal from Rantanen, unless I think there might have been one. And we have not seen a goal from Patrik Laine. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. I mean, that top six hasn't been effective whatsoever. I don't know how I want to change this or what I want to do. I really don't. Ludman has been great. I mean, Samuel Louis with 12 points. 12 points for Bjorkqvist. You have Lambert at 12. Teravainen at 11. Capocacco at 11. 10 there. 11 there. And Rantanen's killed it. I really like that third line the way it is, and I'm confident in it because of the whole two-way setup. And I don't exactly want to drop someone like Brad Lambert down and be like, hey, play a more defensive style, but man, we got to do whatever we can here. We really do. So, I mean, that third line has been great in that more defense-first approach, but something has to change. And now it's time to see if they can take a step forward and be offensive for us. So the big question here is, out of the top six, who's going down to that third line? Again, Lambert with 12 points, 11 for Teuvo, 11 for Capocacco, and 10 for Laine. I mean, Laine is going down for sure. It's just who's going to join him. So, I mean, you have Teravainen at 11, Kakko at 11, and, Lambert at 12 and Simon Taival at 11. So it comes down to Simon Taival, Kakko, and Teravainen. And I think it's going to be Simon Taival, as crazy as that is. I'm at least, not overly upset with Teuvo Teravainen, I suppose. I mean, not as if plus-minus is a great stat, but this is insane. This is absolutely insane that this is happening. The third line is going to be Kakko, Simon Taival, Laine. The second line is going to be Rantanen, Teravainen, and Lambert. And the top line is going to be Bjorkqvist, Louis, and Ludman. Absolutely insane that this is happening, but it has to. Something has to change with this team. We're going to change up some of the positions and everything just to make sure that everyone's kind of optimized if I were to go best lines. But absolutely insane that this is happening. I can't believe that we're having to do this. I really can't. It's just, imagine. And maybe it is an overreaction. I don't know. But imagine, even start of this episode saying, yeah, well, the people who are right now in the middle six are completely blowing it. I never would have guessed. That second pairing is struggling a little bit this series. But I don't know if I want to trust Teravainen to carry top minutes. I'm worried about bumping up Tommy Teravainen. I really am. They're both lefties. Let's give that second pairing a different look. Hopefully I remember to do that. So, oh, man. I mean, we have to throw whatever we can at the wall here to see if something sticks. But, the shutout trend was scary enough. And now we have this situation where we are in the worst case scenario. I mean, this is the worst possible situation that we could have found ourselves in. We have to win 3 straight games against this Ducks team, more specifically John Gibson. Absolutely insane. Never would have expected this. And for, say, Patrick Laine here, I mean, again, this is crazy, but I'm going to set him up as a two-way and just say, all right, screw it. You don't want to score goals? Play some defense. See how it goes. It's pretty much all we can do. Ludman, for obvious reasons, is going to be changed to a sniper just to try and keep up his goal-scoring pace. There is no guarantee that his scoring pace continues, of course. A very good chance that it doesn't, in fact. But we're still going to go forward with this and see what happens. So Ludman as a sniper, Laine as a two-way, Lehkonen is fine the way he is. Rantanen, good as a left wing. Kapokako is going to be changed to a two-way as well. It's not as if he can't play defense, but it's like, all right. I mean, you're doing as well production-wise as the third line, despite having higher minutes. You are technically the captain of this team. Will that be a decision that we think about heading into next season? Maybe changing that. Who knows? But I can't believe we're in this bad of a spot. Maybe we can dig ourselves out of it. I don't know. And maybe it's because, for the most part, we have had a relatively good run of luck and success when it's come to Stanley Cup Final appearances. Not that we haven't lost in the Stanley Cup Final. There have been some heartbreaking, devastating losses in the past. But still, I'm actually going to have Bjorkqvist be a power forward. At least it's somewhat of an offensive role, but, I mean, he really hasn't done any, he's not anything special in terms of attributes when it comes to, oh yeah, he should be a playmaker, he should be a sniper. A power forward is at least a good enough offensive role for someone who's as well-rounded as he is. Of course, he's more perfect as the, ideal third-line guy. And then center-wise, Simon Tabal also being changed to a two-way. Absolutely insane. This is what we're dealing with here. But to a two-way forward you go, sir. Our go-to top-line center for so many years now. And here we are. Brad Lambert will be changed to a right wing, keeping him, of course, in an offensive role. But, again, this is just pure desperation at this point. I don't know if we can dig ourselves out of it. It's a shame if it's going to be all for naught. We just end up losing this next game here. I mean, how devastating is that going to be? So Louis is the last guy that we have to change. We're going to change him to a playmaker. So the top line will be a power forward with Bjorkqvist, a playmaker with Louis, and a sniper with Ludman. And we will see if that works out for us. I mean, the future of the team and Samuel Louis and Tommy Ludman, they're the here and now. I mean, we are going to be relying on them in this next game to get the job done and to win this damn series for us. So we'll see how this goes down. I mean, in terms of the top line, I mean, I'm gonna go best lines again, even though I'm just gonna have to change certain things, but it'll be better this way. And we'll go ahead and make that change there. Second line, make that change. Third line, good to go. And then over here, it does put Tiervainen on the top pairing, but that's just not something that I want to do. Power play, Rantanen, Simon Tabal, Laine. I mean, absolutely not. I don't see how that could possibly be what I want to do. And in terms of the defense, I'm almost tempted not to run with the defender on the power play. I mean, it's almost not even worth it. I mean, Virtanen has that ridiculous offensive touch. Kervainen is also ridiculous. So, I mean, it's normally why we have him there. And they are the top two options. But I think at the very least, Bjorkqvist, Louis, and Ludman need to be on this power play. There's no doubt in my mind. So congratulations to Bjorkqvist. Nudivara will be taken out. And we'll bring in Louis. 81 overall center is going to be my top guy on the power play. That shows how desperate we are to get something going here. It's insane. And Patrick Laine, you're off the power play. You're not getting it done. Maybe playing too much Fortnite, who the hell knows? But for the moment, until I decide what the hell I want to do, you are off the power play. I'm thinking, man, who the hell do we even go with here? I really don't even know. I really don't even know. I mean, between Rantanen and, you know what, Simon Taval, you're off the power play. Can't believe I'm doing this. Arturi Lehkonen, congratulations, you're getting a chance. Capo Caco, take a seat for Juho Lammikko. And whether or not, I mean, out of these three, who sits, I mean, it's probably Teuvo Teravainen. We're going to bring in Rantanen. We're going to give the Grinders a chance on the power play. Is that batshit insane? Sure. Almost as insane as seeing our top players just completely fucking shut down here in the postseason. So, you know, what are you going to do? So, top power play is going to be Ludman, Louis, and Bjorkqvist, Mikko Rantanen, and Kervainen on the back end. And let's go with Lambert. Actually, you know what? I'll have Lambert there. We'll have Lammikko, Rantanen, Lehkonen. Lambert on the left, Rantanen on that far side. The four-man power play can stay the same. Why not? Maybe give them a chance for redemption at that point. The penalty kill, Simon Taval, Laine, Rantanen, Lammikko. That's fine. Penalty kill also looking fine. So that's going to be the main change. And for Luukkonen, I mean, the save percentage has dropped by, what, 16 points-ish? From 946, I think it was, or from a 940, it was a 946, not a 948. So it's dropped from a 946 to a 932 in just 4 games. Not a very good sign. Let's see what happens. Either these lines are going to be able to keep us alive and dig ourselves out of this hole, or the Anaheim Ducks are about to raise the Stanley Cup on home ice for the second time. First period, and the Ducks have the lead. It's Max Comtois, 11 shots to 7 in their favor. Second period, it is tied. Brad Lambert with the goal, 7 minutes left in the second period. No goals from that point on. 20 shots to 13, just still 13 shots. Is it the defense in front of them? I mean, it's solid, but it's not anything ridiculous. Maybe they're playing frickin', you know, the Guy Boucher trap or like New Jersey Devil style in 95. I don't know. The offense has to get going. This is it. I mean, it's an elimination game. Mikko Rantanen, welcome to the Stanley Cup Final. Power play chance goes to waste, but we have a 2-1 lead. The Ducks with the power play of their own. That is killed off. 7 minutes left. Lucas Raymond scores with 8:02. We are tied. Will there be a late winner? 1 minute left in regulation, and you know what that means. It has been a while, and in fairness, we're not going to go CPU versus CPU. We're going to go coach mode so I can still skip replays. It has been a while since we have jumped in to watch a game. I am going to double check what the game settings are set to just to make sure that there aren't any crazy sliders or anything like that in play, especially too as far as the rules are concerned. Now, I haven't changed anything about the rules in this series. That's something I'm debating doing, like what we've messed around with the Hurricanes as of late. Very tempted to do that for this series as well, just to see if it bumps up scoring. Not as if we haven't had some high scoring in this series in the past. Before the hell of it, I'm going to bump up attribute effects as well. Again, the rules in this general tab, the only two things that I see do anything when it comes to altering the sim. Just wanted to make sure all the shooting sliders were the same. Again, you could bump those up to 100, drop every goalie slider down to 0. It doesn't affect the scoring. At least it doesn't when I do it. So there is that. Away shot aim manual would be fine. I don't even know why I'm poking around with that. We're good. We're good. And for the hell of it, even though I'll probably forget to change this back at some point, it's so much more difficult to see what's happening on True Broadcast. I'm not going to do it. I know it looks great, but from an actual broadcasting perspective, screw it, whatever. If I can't call every name, then damn it, I apologize. And hopefully I remember to change it back. This is it. Game 5 in Anaheim. We must win to keep the series alive and force a Game 6 back home in the great country of Finland. Taking everyone's word for it. Never step foot there. I'm sure it's tremendous. Can we get the job done? The next goal will more than likely win this hockey game. Here we go. Tervainen 4 block shots, 1:01 left here in the third. Let's do this. Lucas Raymond finds Dorofeyev. Stepping in, now cutting back, looking, gets Raymond on the half wall. Anaheim looking for space. Raymond can't throw the puck on. Nugent Hopkins. The Ducks continuing to look for space. Down low to Nuge. Gets bumped off by Virtanen. Battling for the loose puck. Nugent Hopkins comes up with it. Finds Raymond. Quick shot knocked down by Luukkonen. Is there a counterattack here for the Eagles? Virtanen leading the way. Finds Bjorkqvist. Kasper Bjorkqvist down low in front of Samu Louis. Let's go! The new top line. Samu Louis. Oh my God. He's just a kid. But he has scored the goal that should keep this series alive, beating John Gibson on the short side. Samu Louis off the dish from Bjorkqvist. I thought he might go far side to Ludman. That was not the case. It is top line v top line. 25.3 remaining here in regulation. Can we hold on? Hikola finds Marcus Nunivara, gets the puck in the zone. Over for Ludman. Looking, finds Samu Louis. He's in trouble though. 13 seconds left. Anaheim unable to get the puck, unable to pull the goaltender. Louis dumps it in. Hampus Lindholm trying to get it out. 5 seconds left. The forecheck is dominant. Puck thrown on. It's blocked. It does not matter. A picture perfect end to this game from that top line. Bjorkqvist, Louis, and Ludman shut down the Ducks. Keep the puck in the Anaheim zone throughout the final 25 seconds of play. And there will be a Game 6. Samu Louis wins it for the Eagles as we march on. Luukkonen's second star, not his finest performance, but it didn't need to be. 27 shots apiece, 3-2 is your final. Game 6 on the horizon. The litany of changes, and it does not come back to haunt us. Game 6 on the horizon. Ludman, 19 points in 20 games, still leading this team. And we are going to Game 6. I don't think I need to pep talk the team. In a real-world situation, I think guys like Kaapo Kakko, Mikko Rantanen, Patrick Laine, I think they would know how much we need them to show up and how desperate it is, how desperate of a situation this is, and how desperate we are for them to put goals on the board. If they don't, I don't see how we come back. It's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Anaheim failed at their first opportunity to raise the cup on home ice. I don't think they care where they raise it. We'll see what happens here. Game 6, first period, and Anaheim yet again scores the first goal. It's Ryan Hartman. They nearly doubled us up in shots, and they have the 1-0 lead on the board. Second period, and this game is tied. Patrick Laine, welcome to the Stanley Cup Final. How nice of you to score on your home turf. Comtois was able to restore the lead less than 2 minutes later, but Samu Louis strikes again. It is 2-all, 25 shots to 19 in Anaheim's favor as we go to the third period. Either Anaheim will win this in regulation and win the Stanley Cup, or we will win this in regulation and force Game 7, or everyone's favorite option, overtime. Third period, let's do this. The next goal is oh so important. 5 minutes down. Kakko, Lambert, Simon Taival, Arturi Lehkonen, even anybody. Somebody step up. Mikko Rantanen, come on. 5 minutes left. Can we force Game 7 back in Anaheim? We will see you then. From 3-1 down to Game 7, Mikko Rantanen gets the job done with 7:53 remaining, and we hold on from there. The Cup will yet again be in the building in Anaheim. This time, the Ducks aren't the only ones who have a chance to raise it over their heads. Luukkonen with a 30-save effort. Rantanen, the winning goal. He has slowed down throughout the majority of this series. He has a couple of points, couple of goals. But that is the type of clutch effort that we needed. This series is going 7. Perhaps to the surprise of absolutely nobody. 3-0 loss in Game 1, 4-0 win in Game 2, 5-0 loss in Game 3, 4-3 loss in Game 4, but from there, back-to-back 3-2 victories with late goals in the third, and that has set up this situation. It is the perfect ending in terms of a dramatic story being told. Nothing tops Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final, as they have had no lineup changes. Nothing can top it. There's no way to properly hype it up. It's time. Game 7. We've battled back, but will it all be for naught? Let's do this. No special hype packages. No, let me jump into the gameplay and capture these players skating around. Let me dramatically look at their face. No. Because, damn it, I don't have time for that. If this stage hasn't been set for you by just watching the series alone, then damn it, I don't know what to tell you, and I failed you. Game 7, first period, 3-1 Anaheim. 3 unanswered goals. Olli Maatta, Ryan Hartman, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. However, we have life thanks to a goal from Artturi Lehkonen. 18 shots to 8 in our favor, but we're down 3-1 on the board. And the question is whether or not our coach kept Luukkonen in. Second period, we are within 1. Mikko Rantanen, the lone goal. We were down 3-0 in under 15 minutes of play. But we are back to within 1. We have them nearly doubled up in shots. We are 20 minutes away from either crowning a champion or going to the most dramatic overtime that you can possibly go to. Laine, Capo, somebody step up. Third period, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Somebody, anybody, not from Anaheim though. Power play chance for the Ducks is killed off. Come on, we're halfway through. 9 minutes left. Somebody, please, somebody. Oh my God. There's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes to play. Is there a miracle on the horizon? Or will the Anaheim Ducks walk away with this and win it? I only turned off fighting for the sake of, there wouldn't be a fight at this stage of the game. This is it. 2 minutes. 2 goddamn minutes to win this. Can it be done? Will it be done? We don't even have to win it. Can we just tie the game? Here we go. We fought back so valiantly to force Game 7. Can we tie the game? Lucas Raymond finds Montour. Over the line, picked off by Nunivaara. Here's Wirtanen. The fourth line's out there. Lemiko throws one on. Saved by Gibson. Lemiko's still battling. Looking. Wirtanen picks it up. Circles out. Slap shot. Broken up. Recovered by Dorofeyev. We'll try to get the top line out there with 1.5 to go. Puck over to the Nuge. Back for Dorofeyev. Save by whoever the hell is in goal. I still don't know if it's Luukkonen. Big chance here. And a big-time turnover as the defense was making a change, but they get out. Raymond gets crushed. 1:12 remaining here. Samu Louis having trouble with it. Puck over to the boards. It's Ludman. I don't know if we pull the goalie or not. We're having trouble getting a breakout going. Kervine into Louis. Over to Bjorkqvist. Toe drag into traffic. Kirby Dach is there. We're getting that third line out there. Ricard Raquel with a little bit of space. Picked off by Tyrväinen. Finds Patrick Laine. Here we go. Can these guys get it done? Laine looking for space, looking for anything. Finds Nudivara. Now back to Laine. Back to the point. Nudivara throws it in deep. Recovered by Kakko. Simon Tyval over for Laine from the point. It gets broken up. 32 seconds to play. Lindholm has trouble. Gets it out for Kirby Dach. Go for the line change, the forced pressure. 25 seconds left. Chance here, Strong. Or Sprong, I should say, battling for it. Strong effort. Fowler to Larson. You have to press. Somebody press. Tyrväinen gets hooked. Or Tyrväinen gets hooked, whoever it was, and we will go on to the power play with 13 seconds left. We're obviously going to pull the goaltender. Is there time? Is there time? Oh my God. 13 seconds left. We will send the top unit out there. For the love of God, press. For the love of God, shoot the puck. All out attack. Everything. Just fucking go for it. I'm begging you. This is it. Do we have time? Face off won by Anaheim. Montour sends it back around. Picked off. Cleared out. 6 seconds left. The Anaheim Ducks have won the Stanley Cup. Their crowd dead silent because this game's engineering needs work. So close, yet so far. My God. We were one goal away from tying this, sending it to overtime. An extremely disappointing outcome. I don't know whether or not I want to blame Luukkonen or some of the big stars for letting us down. And I suppose there'll be plenty of time in this upcoming offseason to play the blame game. For now, we talked about it earlier this episode. A postseason loss for us is nothing new. A Stanley Cup Finals loss is nothing new. But it doesn't make it any less painful. There wasn't exactly a Night King-esque ending. It lived up to the hype. Two titans of the game in goal. But John Gibson was the better of the two. And because of that, we're going home empty-handed. As the Anaheim crowd could not be any more bored as their team's about to raise the cup. That's the atmosphere you want to see. Cam Fowler will raise the cup as captain of the Ducks to pure silence. Like, at least the depression I'm feeling from seeing my team lose isn't as bad as being like, wow. At least I'm not so indifferent enough as these home fans to not be doing anything. You would have thought we won. Maybe we were supposed to. Maybe the game glitched and we were supposed to win, so this is the reaction that we get. Oh, man. That Herculean effort from this team to win Game 5 and 6. Just to get off to an absolutely horrific start here in Game 7. We tried so hard to battle back. The in-game strats, for what it's worth, because I think someone will probably bring that up to debate it, I really don't feel as though... I mean, from personal experience and testing around with things, I don't think that in-game strats do anything from a simming perspective, but obviously, you know, maybe it would have helped had I adjusted them from the moment we got into the game. However, there is no guarantees that would have done anything. Think of it, Samu Louis would have scored the goal in Game 5 under the exact same circumstances. The Anaheim Ducks, our Stanley Cup champions. It was Ville Husso who took over. At the end of the day, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen let us down. We had some star players let us down, absolutely. But at the end of the day, when we needed a big-time performance the most, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen gets pulled in the first period of Game 7, and we just didn't have enough to battle back to be able to walk away with the win. As frustrating as that is, Tommy Ludman is going to be an absolute star in this league. Make no mistake about it. It was a hell of a run for us. We beat Tampa in 5, we beat Ottawa in 5, we beat Philly in 5. But the Cup Final goes 7. And we just didn't have enough. Looking at the team again, Ludman's going to be an absolute star. Mikko Rantanen, he stepped up. Bottom line is he stepped up. I can't hate him on, I can't hate on him that much. I mean, 10 goals, would you want a little bit more? Maybe, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Brad Lambert was fine. Brad Lambert was pretty good. The issue is our third line make up 3/5 of our leading scorers in the postseason. That is the problem. It speaks to how good Bjorkqvist, Louis, and Ludman are, especially as a line. But Simon Taval, 12 points from a 92 overall center. He choked. He had 78 points in the regular season. He choked. Teuvo Teravainen, 37 points in the regular season. It was a bit of a down year for him. 12 points. Not as much as you want. Patrick Laine choked. Capo Kakko choked. 7 goals between the two of them. Our third line center, Samu Louis, scored as many goals as Laine and Capo Kakko combined. It speaks for itself. Arturi Lehkonen on the fourth line outscored Capo Kakko in terms of goals. On the defensive side of things, we know that we don't have a big point getter. The best thing here is to not see a bunch of minuses. So you could argue, well, that's what we're missing. We're missing a defenseman who can put up points. You've seen the price for some defensemen, but maybe we can make a move. I mean, again, right now, based off of the rules that we started this series with the whole loyalty thing, which was me wanting to test the waters with that idea and then expand upon it for the Hurricane series, which we did. Right now, it's Rantanen and Teravainen and Laine as well that we'd have to stay loyal to as Bjorkqvist's contract is up. If we decide to ditch that rule, which could be done, trading Patrick Laine for another top defenseman, probably Risto, who could put up points, might not be the worst way to go. The argument is, though, if you have defensemen taking away points from the forwards, maybe that could cause issues, but it's not as if key forwards are putting up points in the playoffs. And the bottom line is, Luukkonen choked. I know we went to a 7th game. Luukkonen choked. Ville Husso was a tremendous safety net. Absolutely phenomenal. But Luukkonen choked. For the top goaltender in the game. When it came down to it, he was good enough to get us to where we needed to be, but he choked in Game 7. And there's no way to sweeten that. There's no way to soften the blow. It speaks for itself. Anaheim wins the Cup, the first Western Conference team to do so in 3 years after Winnipeg. Player Awards, Jack Hughes wins the Art Ross and the Hart. Sergachev wins the Norris. Calder to Edwards in San Jose. Conn Smythe to John Gibson. The Vezina as well to John Gibson. Jennings to DiPietro. Selke to Connor McDavid. Ted Lindsay to Jack Hughes. Rocket Richard to Jack Hughes. Down in the AHL, Daniil Gushchin put up the most points. It was league MVP. Cole Lynn scored the most goals. Vijay was the top rookie. Top defenseman, Noah Dobson. Top goaltender, Joe Wall. And with that, an MVP of the playoffs was Peckham of the Syracuse Crunch. With that, took a little bit longer than I think some of us were expecting heading into the playoffs, but this season has finally come to an end. It's going to be a very interesting offseason, depending on what we decide to do and how we choose to move forward. As you get to look at the draft order, surprisingly, no picks moved. Calgary gets the number 1 selection. Again, in terms of draft class, there was a reason why we were aggressive. There are no top players for us to acquire. They're just that it doesn't exist. It's not going to be a great draft for us. Only guy we could hope for is Voutilainen, but he's a 300 projection, which means there's no way he's actually going to be that good. Aside from that, Kari Ramo as an okay defenseman, I'm not really feeling the need to sit there and trade up. So it's not going to be a very draft-heavy episode next time out. It's going to be more about the offseason and any trades we potentially make. As both Sidney... Wow, look at that retirement class. Jesus. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Brad Marchand, the best of them all, JVR, Andrew Ladd. And on defense, Subban, Pietrangelo, Yandel, Schultz, Jared Spurgeon. I know it's Spurgeon. Marco Scandella, the best of them all. And goaltenders, Carey Price, Ben Bishop, Jonathan Quick. Jesus, Corey Crawford as well. That is one hell of a class. Worth the talent. Patrick Kane, Andrew Ladd, and PK Subban all became scouts. Cool beans. Guys, we're done here. Again, unfortunately, we don't always get that championship celebration. It's a damn shame, though. I'm intrigued to see what you guys think about how we should progress moving forward. Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, you know the deal. Leave a like, help the channel, or physical violence will be coming your way. I will see you next time. Until then, have a good one, take it easy, and goodbye.